Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Hyperloops 2021 podcast. We have NJ Cuenca here with the bright light coming down. He's being viewed by the FBI, questioned. Full on light. I got it too. Look, you can see the shine off my head. Me
Yeah,
and
I
my.
can adjust the. I can adjust that.
We don't need none of that. So, yeah.
My dad, my dad, my dad was in news. He's a news broadcaster, and he'd always have this little like compress of like powder, and he'd put it on his like forehead. He has like a very similar big forehead like I do, so it would just be very shiny. And he was like, "This helps with the shine."
The five head. No problems. So, yeah, any of you guys wondering why I'm in a suit? This was not to impress you guys. I just literally got back from work. But don't worry, next time you won't see me in one of these. So how you been, Cuenca? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I actually applied for a few jobs today, and I got a call back today, and I have an additional interview where I'm going to go to the place of work, which is
Oh,
unusual in the COVID times. But hey, you know what? I think it's the kind of position. It's like administrative, so I'll have to go into the office, and I'm pretty excited about it because I've been working my current job for 12 years, and it's really time for a change.
yeah. Nah, that makes sense. Makes sense. I was doing mine for a long time. I got out too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today was my first day. I didn't know what it was gonna be at the office, but essentially like bookkeeper, accounting. So I was like, oh well, you gotta like be dressed all nice and proper. You got to have the tie and so look, I even got the vest and shit. It's all like matching and stuff, and it's just like, oh, it's like I'm going to, as Cuenca said, a quinceanera. I'm the DJ at a quinceanera. Is that what it was?
Yeah, you're a DJ at a quinceañera. You only looked like that when you weren't wearing the coat.
Oh yeah,
It's like the part of like the party where it's getting hot, right? So you take off the jacket, and
just as the vest.
now you're like rolled up your sleeves, and you're about to like scratch your Elvis Crespo CDs and discs, and
Yeah, because the vest.
yeah,
Like,
he had that look about him.
yeah,
And if you
vest.
can't see him, Joe had a big, luxurious, hairstyle, but now it's upper.
You talking about way back?
No, you had hair just like a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't. No, I didn't have much hair. There was some, not a lot. There was nothing luxurious there.
Eh, I thought
Unless
you
you're
had like
talking
the
about like,
mohawk.
oh, that was months ago. I haven't had the mohawk for months.
What's that? Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the pineapple thing. All right, let's get started. And yes, you guys won't see me in this again because I was just way overdressed for that. The dude I was working with had a hoodie on, and I was like, oh, thank God, I can wear that tomorrow now. I'm just gonna I'm wearing khakis, dress shirt, and a hoodie, just good to go. I'm gonna be comfortable and shit.
Yeah,
But all right, let's start it off.
yeah.
We're at
I'm
Hero
trying
Red.
to. You're making me think about that.
What? Think about what?
So you're making me think about what I'm gonna. Well, what I'm gonna wear. I don't know what I'm gonna wear now.
Go full on dress suit. Just dress to impress. Be like I'm sexy, and I know it.
Yeah, all right.
All
I
right.
like that.
So let's get this party started so that we're not here for years. Uh, Admiral
Woo.
Akbar, brilliant tactician, 18 health, 2128 for the cost, 2 ranged, 2 focus, discard, resource, blank, character, leader, pilot. Piloting. After setup, if this character is elite, you may add a set aside X Wing to your play area without paying its cost. After the upkeep phase begins, you may add a set aside X Wing to your player without paying its cost. So, as a point of reference, upkeep is not the same upkeep as in other games. It's not, pretty much before you get to like your main phase or the start. Upkeep here in this game is pretty much the end. So you did all your crap, and then we claimed or whatever and pass. Now it's the upkeep phase. Go ahead, Quinky. You're making faces. You got thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. When I heard you, I thought you said so. He's a 2 discard side. So I don't know if I misheard you, but
Yeah, 2 range, 2
um,
focus, 2 discard, resource, blank.
okay. Yeah. So I played against Akbar, and he's cool. I like the design. I like big Akbar. I'm a big Admiral Akbar fan and the lore. So it's cool to have sort of like a Admiral Akbar, uh, you know, deck that's just Admiral Akbar all the time. I don't know. I would say that from a design perspective, there's some like weird stuff going on with him that while I like the idea of it, uh, I don't I don't love this whole like I don't know. It just feels like you would never like. Would you ever play this as like a one die character? Like maybe. I mean, it's like 7 point difference, but you don't get the X wing, so it's actually like a 2 die difference for
Hmm.
7 points. So that does not. That totally seems worth it. So it's just like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, like I don't know. It just seems like it's a card that's only a 2 die, and I think a lot of cards end up being like that, where it's just like I think the well designed cards are generally the cards that like you could use either way, or it's like at least like makes you think about it. But as far as like playing wise, it seems that Akbar, I think he's playable. I know that like I don't know if it was this month's. I know the previous months had like some in top eight. I don't know if that's still the case. And with 18 health, he is very large. And there are some cards that really help him keep alive that we're going to go over in a little bit. Um, and I don't know if you want to bump that card up. If that like sort of, I feel like that card really helps Admiral Akbar be a a good card.
Yeah,
I don't know if that card didn't exist. I don't know if it,
we can introduce it. Why not? So the card that I believe he's talking about is Veteran of War. 2 cost equipment. It's upgrade title. 2 ranged, 1 focus, resource, special, blank. Unique red character only. After you play this upgrade, heal 2 damage from attached character. Special, resolve one of your red dice. Increase its value by 1. Remove an opponent's die. So like that's really useful from like the healing and removal perspective, and you can kind of like pump your resources. So we'll go over it more in depth in I think a bit, but I yeah that's definitely a really strong card and it helps out here. Um,
yeah.
I'd say some of the drawback is just that like it's not the greatest way to kind of like upgrades, right? Like you're probably like in theory a support base, but being able to heal up the damage and the
Right.
fact that you can get the pump on like resources or just your mono red deck is like super useful.
Yeah,
Uh,
I will say the one thing I don't like about Akbar is I don't love. I feel like one of those resources needed to be a 2 resource. Like maybe that's just me, but those sides feel real kind of. They don't feel great on a 28 point character. Like when you roll, like the sides on him like are like fine, but the fact that he costs so much, it's just like you're not like when you roll him out, you're not like, ha, I rolled this and this is my nut roll. You're just like,
yeah.
these are fine.
It's one of those tough ones, right? Because like you're getting an X-wing at the end of each round, so it's kind of like you're getting the equivalent to 2 resources that can only go on this one specific thing, and it starts off terrible, but then just gets kind of ridiculous, right? Like the third, and once you're at the third X-wing and those things are hitting for like 3 ranges, it's like, oh, those are kind of big. The fourth one is just like, oh, okay. And like to talk about like your point differential thing, I'm probably fine taking those 7 points back to fit like a yellow character that will give me access to flee the scene and jump to light speed. Because like those things are really strong. If you have the extra health overall, it does make it easier to kind of last long enough. Where like you're short the X-wing to start, but when your Akbar finally dies, um, you have another 7 to 10 health to continue with from there. So like I could see where that's actually just a very big thing. I think there's several different ways to play it. Like if you go 28 point, I think you're playing Camino Cloning Facility because you just resolve red dice and you get more health that way at the end. If you're going like 21, I probably just want yellow because I want to be able to like flee the scene or jump to light speed. Because if you play like I don't know, let's say someone's crazy and gives you Main Streets, right? And you're playing like the Old Man Han, you has the
Right.
scoundrel. So go do whatever, take some resources, claim flee the scene. All right, go to the next round, do whatever stuff. And if you claim jump to light speed because you have the X-wing stuff, like it's real bad for people. It gets real bad real fast. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I because this guy has piloting and you get like set up well. Like I don't know, I've seen it played I think you can't play into a format that has DM, but if people aren't playing DM in like crazy amount of damage, I think you could definitely get away with this.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I don't think that that's a fault of this card or the design. It's just DM is sort of restricted in the fact that like it just sort of chokes out a deck like this. Like you get a guy DM, and
Hmm.
it's like I wouldn't say it's over, but it's like pretty close to over because his dice aren't great,
Yeah.
and you're really relying on the X-wing synergy.
Like if X-wings weren't rotated out, this might be broken because then you could actually cast X-wings with it, and then you'd be going shit bananas, right? Like if you cast an X-wing and start with the 2, like how crazy could you be going like the next round if you
Right.
have 4 out? It'd just be like kind of ridiculous, and you could technically have 3 round 1 if you got the
Yeah.
2 resources. So there is some shenanigans that could be going on. It just feels bad because you don't really want to eject your X-wing. It's like, what are you gonna hit, the merchant freighter or a phantom? Like, okay, but
Right. Yeah.
I think he's interesting overall. It's gonna just be like trying to find that deck in like a specific format. Like I could see where you could take him into like a top cut where people are playing very specific stuff, and you just ruin someone's life with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. He does seem like a card where it's like you read the metagame right, you play General Akbar, and everyone's like, it's like
Shit.
this is a really annoying deck to play against because of the decks that the deck that I played.
Hmm.
But again, it's like the other thing where it's I don't know the matchup we were testing like pirates against him, and it just felt like
Oh yeah, pirates
it's
is
he
real
feels
bad.
so yeah he feels so poor because like he's poor like the money sides are it's awful. You only have 2 dice to start with the game. I mean you have a third with X-wing, but like
Yeah.
you're not scaling well because you do need money to like play more stuff.
Well, like the other issue is that they actually just straight up have DM. So you're just like, oh, like you try to get situated and
Well,
you
yeah,
can't. So I'll steal
yeah,
your
yeah.
stuff. I'll steal your
That
stuff for
seems
DM. It's like,
that seems like a nightmare. That's like the sort of deck where it's like if that deck's popular, this deck's kind of unplayable.
yeah, yep. That's pretty much the gist, and I
Yeah.
agree with that there. Any parting thoughts before we leave, Admiral Akbar?
No, I like him though. I do like him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I'll mess around with him.
Oh, and for point of reference, because we talked about Veers before, I played the Veers deck a bit. I think Veers does some interesting stuff, but he has that issue where the stuff you want to play all costs 4. So getting to 3 resources is easy after being at 0, but getting to 4 is really hard. So I
Mm.
gave up on that and I went to Jabba Watto Jawa instead, and I was much happier with that.
Mm.
You get round 1 dirty things. You're like, oh, I'll just take 3 or 4 resources. You're like tiers 2 entourages, and it's like, oh Jesus. All right. So since we talked about Veteran Roar a bit and we went over the sides, how do you feel about this card overall?
I mean it's insane. Like the value is just crazy
Hmm.
because you would pay 1 just for the heal 2. I mean that's like a it's not like a card that you're excited about, but it is a card that's made many decks.
Hmm.
And that die by itself is like definitely better than a 1 cost die. At a 2 cost die, it's probably what it's cost. So like it's just insane value. And when you're talking about the Akbar deck, where they're definitely pushing all that damage into him, you're seeing a really nice exchange. Uh, you're seeing that really nice exchange for your resources, I believe.
Yeah. It. So this is kind of weird, but this might be the one card that I've seen that could like efficiently pay for itself round 1. Um, that doesn't cost like 1, right? And it's actually so insane that you could actually hit the equivalent to 3 resources worth in a round, because if you special, so if you heal the 2 when you cast it and then special to resolve like an additional resource, so resource for 2 resources, so you gain +1 resource, healed 2, and removed an opponent's die, and that's like 3 resources worth of stuff in a round, and it's kind of just insane.
Yeah.
The other thing is it being a title means if you have like access to UR in command, and you're playing it, your Veteran of Wars could just kind of like, oh, I'll overwrite into Veteran of War and get a heal, and then I'll UR in command or Veteran of War back for 1, and I'll get the 2 heal and the stupid die. So there's a lot of kind of like ridiculous things going on there. I was playing it in the Wookiee deck, and I like played it and overwrite it with Fortitude, and then I UR and command it back for 1, and I heal again, and it's just like, it's real annoying. But yeah, Veteran of War just feels kind of like ridiculous, or really, really ridiculous. Not kind of, but it
Is
also
there
feels bad when you don't have the special.
Is there a? I mean, that's 2 range side. That's fine. I mean, but yeah, is there another besides Akbar? I think Akbar is the obvious place. Is there some other place that you think that it would be good in, like
Yeah, and
just off the cuff?
uh, I run this in Wolfwaro Tarful. So I bring in a Kashyyyk warrior. I have damage to start. I can actually cast Veteran of War round 1 and get the heal right away.
Yep, that's true. Yeah,
And
we
it's
haven't gone over Wolfaro, but he gives you a free Wookiee for taking damage.
yeah,
essentially.
you get to bring in a Wookiee. It could be unique or non-unique, and then it could be elite or non-elite, and you take damage equal to the point cost that you paid to your dudes. So you spread out the damage. You start like in a really good position, and you just kind of make people regret life. Like yeah, no, I was ruining people with this.
Nice.
But yeah, I like Veteran of War a ton, and it's probably just too good of a card to be honest. It's that ridiculous.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of value because like the worst side is 1 focus, and like when your worst side is like a 1 focus or like a 1 money, it's like pretty. I mean, obviously, oh sorry, besides the blank.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and obviously the special is just like such insane value, and that it removes any die, and yeah, any red die,
Res-
any
resolve 1 red day. Yeah.
any
Yep.
die you remove, like any die you. Yeah, resolve any red die that you have and remove any dies they have. So it's a super good value, and it's just yeah, really annoying card to play against.
Yep. Love it. Absolutely love it. Broken. Too good. Nerf it,
Broken.
guys. You
Yeah,
gotta nerf it.
probably a little bit too good.
Doesn't need a nerf, but it's real strong.
Nerf.
Real strong.
It is real strong. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like it's one of those cards, right, where your opponent plays a games. Maybe it'll just be like, oh, your win percentage is so high, so much higher when you play that on like round 1, and you got like the heal,
Yeah,
and even if you don't get the heal, like it's such an annoying card. Like they've costed like die removal on a stick so heavily in the past that this is just like kind of laughably like aggressive.
yeah. Well, so like I've actually enjoyed playing like Untamed Power, the stuff like Sheen Mastery, Veteran of War, and like they're just kind of ridiculous. They make the opponent hate life if you roll out and it's on the special. And if you have any way to like special chain, oh my god, it's a miserable world for them. Like I don't know what red blue lineup you'd run, but if you had like Anakin and with a Neiman and some dude with this Veteran of War, like people are gonna be real mad if the Neiman special shows up because like you're just looking like, oh, I'll flip this, do this, I'll do that, I'll eat this, I'll resolve that, I'll punch this guy in the face, and you're just like, oh my god, man, go away. But
Yeah, and you can play that. You can also play this in like a mill deck too.
yeah,
Just because like, yeah, I mean it's so good in like so many places.
yeah, it's literally good like everywhere. You gotta get some of them discard sides with the pumped value after you remove their die that was trying to hit you because it was the one die that had damage, and they're just like, I hate you, and you're like, thanks. Like Bale special makes this thing look amazing because you're just like, Bale, like roll this, flip that, like resolve it, flip this other thing. Oh my god, it costs 1 to begin with because Bale made it discounted, so it's just like, oh, this is crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah, the bales.
Yeah. But all right, heading to the next one, we got Scooby Doo, Boston Spy, 7 points, 7 cost, 1 indirect, 2 indirect, 1 focus, 1 disrupt, 1 resource, blank. Character Spy, detect. After this character's detect ability detects a support or upgrade, you may play a set-aside copy of Death Star plans on this character for free. For reference, Death Star plans is that weird card that's, 1 cost upgrade, action, exhaust this upgrade to place 1 resource on or remove 2 shields from your Death Star plot. After an opponent's effect deals damage to attached character, they may move this card to one of their characters. Talk to me, Quanka.
This card's super weird. I don't know. Like I think I heard some people were playing as like a Death Star sort of like Luke deck with this guy in it. I don't know if that was good, but that could be okay. It's cost 7, so it's like you get a 7 red character for hero. So I think just that in itself, it's just It's a 7 cost character that has a resource side and a 2 indirect side. Like the other sides are kind of like whatever, but and the Death Star plans thing is interesting. In addition to, if you're not even a Death Star plans deck, you can still just kind of use it to overwrite,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like a free resource. So you could put like a, like a, I don't know, like a weapon that redeploys on him.
Yep. My issue with that theory though is
So
because
that's
he's.
pretty much.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, obviously, like, yeah, he rolls in, so you don't get it that turn. So yeah.
Yep. For me, the quote unquote broken is use it with abandoned refinery.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah, because you just put it somewhere else.
you just throw that, you throw that away and you play that upgrade or the support on some, like, wherever, and
Right.
you
Yeah.
draw a card. So then you're like, yeah. But like overall, yeah, this guy does not read very well. The other issue is because your opponent can deal damage and steal the upgrade, you could completely get housed. So like if they roll out and show damage and you both and activate, hit the thing, and he gets the upgrade, if they hit him with any damage, they can take that upgrade, throw it onto one of their unactivated guys, and then overwrite themselves and like make it cheaper. Like,
Mm-hmm.
get a discounted upgrade, and then you're just crying inside because like you wouldn't have with his die the direct to deal the damage back to them to take it back because they would just do the indirect to one of the people that doesn't have the upgrade on them. So there's like pretty large concerns over running into a damage side and just getting like blown out because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's also on top if you did want to play like a Death Star, destroy the Death Star deck, then like they're still gonna have all their guys, and you're just going towards that. And I don't think you can't resolve indirect right at Death
no.
Star. So
And you needed to
yeah.
have piloting damage. Yeah, you'd have pilot damage or vehicle damage in order to hit the Death Star. Like with Luke, I prefer to run Dak because Dak will
Yeah.
rip a shield off onto your dude instead. Instead, like Dak gets a shield either way, but I mean like it rips one off, so it's pinging it for 1 damage each time. We'll get to Dak soon as well. But yeah, I really don't like Both and Spy. But if you need red for 7 points, like you take what you can get sometimes. Um, I might.
Yeah, you
There's
can play
one deck I might try
Hoff
it
Trooper
though,
for.
but like I'm not gonna be happy about it if I have to do it. I'll tell you that much. But
Okay.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I think the refinery play is probably like the only thing where I'm just like, you know what, this might do it, but it's still brutal. Like no matter what's going on. I'm trying to think
Yeah. I
like
mean,
Chewbacca. If you Chewbacca there, are you okay with it?
what do you mean Chewbacca?
You get the you get
Oh,
the Death
Chewbacca.
Star Chewbacca blaster over the top.
Right. I mean, that was the only thing. I was trying to think of things that roll in automatically,
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, that's okay. The thing is that then they'll kill him because then he has 6 health. So it's just
yeah,
like, I guess maybe you're okay with that. I don't
yeah.
know.
There's probably some weird stuff where you overwrite that into like a 1 drop that shifts. Like BD1, BD1 can shift. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the the Mace's lightsaber could shift over. Like they're not. These are not good plays, but there's things to do there. Um,
I think the big thing is just his sides just are terrible.
yeah.
Like
Um,
two indirect is just
the one indirect's the only side I hate. I'm fine with the others.
sure, but I think that it's a comparatively to other cost characters that we've seen be played. He's below curve, I think.
I don't know. I played an 8 cost guy that did this. That was like this almost. He didn't have a focus. He had a discard. It was Rebel Trader. I wasn't too happy about playing Rebel Trader, but Rebel Trader's effect did some stuff.
Right. I mean, I guess you get red. I guess if you really want red, and then like the lineup is like really good.
Hmm.
Also, he is a spy, so you can make a 31 point deck with like him and like some other spies, right? Because you have
Yeah.
like the spy plot.
Yep.
So that is something to mention. I haven't thought about that too
Yeah.
much,
He just
to
doesn't get more
be
to it though, because
perfect.
you can't redetect a detected card, and it's only when he detects. So it's
Sure.
still like a crapshoot whether he gets the ability or not. And I think that's the other issue is just it's random, right? You're just like, if this just said like uh the first time you detect ability detects a supporter upgrade, you can get whatever copy, then I'd be like, oh, okay, because you could play him, you could detect with somebody else, and then get him the upgrade, and then override and use it and go. So I don't
Right.
know.
And then you would always it would be like something that would happen for sure. And then you're like, okay, I can build my deck around it, and that's
Hmm.
a little more interesting.
Yeah, like you'd have actual like options there. For this though, it's real rough. I like in general, I do like the
Yeah.
fact that the focus, disrupt, and resource are there. Like I'm a big fan of those three sides. The two indirect I'm fine with. So it's really just the one indirect I don't like, and I just have to get over the fact that that ability is real scary. But I definitely think
Yeah.
there's some options there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the you kind of hit the nail on the head where I think the concept of something like this is kind of cool and interesting, but there is just such a random chance that that just doesn't happen,
Hmm.
and then it's just like then the card reads terribly, right?
Yeah,
Like even worse than it already does.
yeah. Like I'm trying to think if there's a world where I'd be okay not getting the Anakin saber die to get two shields, and there just really isn't. I think it would only be like I run this so that the opponent gives me shields to start every time, because I'm playing a refinery and they're just like I'm not dealing with that, and you're like all right cool. Because if you do get to refinery, like you could go bananas. Like anytime we got a free resource round one, stuff was ridiculous, right? Like free resource in a card is just insane. So like I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it just seems so rough. But all right, any last thoughts on Boston Spy?
I think we talked too much about Boston Spy
I know, but
already.
he's Scooby Doo. Where's Shaggy? Where's
He
Shaggy?
is Scooby Doo. He's like evil Scooby Doo.
He's evil Scooby Doo. He has an M on his head, I think. It just reminds me of like Majin Scooby Doo. All right, we don't need no Death Star plans. All right, you can take Chewbacca.
All right, Chewbacca, commanding force, 13 health. His sides are 2 range, 2 melee, 1 shield, 1 disrupt, 2 resource, blank. He is a character scoundrel Wookiee. He has Guardian. After a Guardian ability removes an opponent's character die, deal 1 damage to the die's matching character. Power action, move 2 damage among your characters as you wish. It is a 14 for 1 die, 17 for 2. And I freaking love this card. I don't know if it's good, but it seems like it's it does some really. I feel like it does exactly what you want the Wookiees to do, right? Like it gives you a payoff for guarding, it lets you move stuff fast so you can trigger the other Wookiees' abilities to get a higher a higher resolving for like I don't even know what the nickname of those abilities are, but the 6 damage pump one,
Yeah, there's a
uh, and uh, and I think that like they've sort of figured that 14, 17, that's like around the point where you start giving people characters 2 resources, and yeah, I mean 3 of those sides are excellent for that. I mean they're 2 of them are on cost, and obviously getting a 2 resource for 14, like a 17-point character. I think that's really, really good. And he's a scoundrel and a Wookiee. Those are both very relevant. And yeah, I think he's awesome, and I look forward to trying him out.
mm. He was for me he was an early target with like the Wolfaro decks. I was like, oh, I'll bring a Chewbacca in, and I'll take 13. Or sorry, 17. And I was like, oh, but like taking 17 is so brutal because like
Yeah.
you lose 4 health from whatever your theoretical like starting health was to fit him in. But his ability is actually quite good. So I may have to try to like revisit it a bit, but there is a 2 character lineup, Chewbacca plus Lumpawaru with Valorous Tribe that is being played. And that is, both guys with Guardian. Lumpawaru out can also like throw damage back when he Guardians. So you can like eat a 2 and deal 2 back to the opponent in the process, and it's kind of disturbing. And he still has the Wookiee 6 damage ability where he pumps his damage. So that deck overall is really interesting because you have 2 sets of ability to move damage around. So if they're going after a guy, you can move 2 and heal with Valora's Tribe, and then Chewbacca move 2 as well. So lots ongoing there. I guess my biggest issue here with Chewbacca is like that single shield side. Like the 2 resource just beats everything down, hands down. So I don't know how I feel about it, because the problem is like I'd probably want to reroll the shield like every time.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, how, what do I want to do here? I'd be like, I want reaps all the time. So it's kind of tough in that regard, but still Scoundrel gets access to mean streets. So I don't know. There's a lot going on here, especially with that deal 1 damage with the Guardian trigger. So I don't know. I guess there's also some weird setup where you could like Wolf Waru and Chewbacca 1 die each, and then get a lump of Waru elite and deal 10, and like have double Guardian still 3 guys, and be able to like shift upgrades around with redeploys. But you lose Valora's Tribe that way. I don't know how I feel about that, but I think it's an interesting concept. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely finally a good Chewbacca. I feel like just printed wise, right?
Yeah.
Well, not printed, but
This is definitely the best
printed.
Chewbacca that exists.
Yes, and he's got a lot of text, which I love in cards. And what is the math to hit? You're gonna hit one of those 3 good sides 75% when he's at elite. I think that's the math.
Yeah, you're gonna hit it at least one of the 2 dice is gonna show one of those 3 sides 75% of the time.
It's pretty.
But like the 2s are not the 2 damages are not the same as the resource to me. Like you need 4 damage to equal 2 resource for me, and so like to me it's the 2 resource, then everything else. But it's really like the 2 resource and then the damage and the disrupt, and then shield is going right next to blank, because fuck you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and at 17, like using the disrupt sometimes is like okay, depending on like what else is going on.
But I don't know. I think it's cool that you can actually run Chewbacca and Han now, and not
That
be
is
like a
good.
complete pile of crap and have 2 colors.
Are there any like rescue Han things that are maybe worth trying?
Does Chewbacca get the discount with the rescue Han? I think he does.
I think so.
So then,
Yeah,
is there the question ends up being: is there a 12-point yellow character or 11 that we like with Chewbacca? And I don't know. Like usually when I think of yellow characters, I go Satine, I go Grease, I go Chopper, and everyone else doesn't exist. But like running Rescue Han's real tough. So like you can't get another plot there. Yeah, it'd have to be like somewhere between like 11 or 12 points, whether you want to go like Elite Rescue Han or something if you're trying to do that route.
You could do elite plot. What is it like with Chopper? No, it's not.
Yes, Elite plot and Chopper. For a second, I was like, "Oh, you go Elite Chewbacca, Elite Luke, and you go Elite Rescue Han because they both get the discount." And then I remembered that I don't have yellow there. It's like, I suck.
You in theory can run. Is there a 12-point?
Yellow?
Is there a 12-point Han?
No, because you can't run Rescue Han with Han.
Really?
Because the other side counts as the Rescue Han also, so you're not allowed to do it. Otherwise, you could run 13-point Han and Rescue Han, and you can't do that.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now you know. For those out there who are thinking about running, I just thought maybe it was a different version or something.
Yeah, I don't think they care there's a different version. I think it does that thing where you can't run it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure you just can't run it with Old Man Han, though.
Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, I think that would be a flavor fail for sure. So
yeah,
let's keep it with the flavor fail. And I can't think of there's no we don't have a Lando right now, right? So
no. There's a Leia you could get for 12 points, but you don't have yellow again. So it's just you can't do it reasonably well with Chewbacca.
Yeah. Okay.
Ezra's 12. They claim the battlefield, guys. No, this is bad cards. It's all bad cards.
I mean, Chopper's the best card, right? And then you get access to to the red arm, and he's yellow and da 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 da. So
Uh,
forth.
yes, Chopper's the best single card, but you also need to get money to and like you usually need some focuses in order to chain through Rescue Han.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sad times at Ridgemont High. All right, this is buy Chewbacca time.
Yeah, he's cool though. I love him.
Love to hate him, hate to love him.
I like him. Do you like him better, or do you like Akbar better?
Oh, I think Akbar has
It's
a
a
more
tough one,
interesting
right?
play because you can only go certain ways with it, so it's easier to like figure out, quote unquote. But
Mm-hmm.
because like because Chewbacca doesn't cost so much, like by comparison, you can set all sorts of team lineups up. There's probably something where if they make a mistake, you could like get real abusive there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the lump of water deck is really annoying, so I thought that's cool. Moving on, we have Dak Ralter, Rogue Gunner. 12-15 for the cost. 11 health. 2 ranged. 2 ranged. Modified 2 ranged. Single shield. Single resource blank. Character pilot. Piloting. After you activate this character, move 1 shield from a card you control to another card you control, or give 1 shield to one of your characters. So pretty much he just says get a shield, or like if you have Death Star, move a shield from that over to a dude. Because ain't no one doing anything else with that. I don't know what. I don't think any of your other cards can get shields on them. How you feel about this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I get I get that lineup. Luke with him, and then your Death
Mm-hmm.
Star plot, and it's just part of it just doesn't feel good enough. It's cute, but getting an extra shield is like nice. But I just feel like if you just read it as, uh, I mean, maybe I'm underestimating his die sides for like the cost. Maybe those die sides are just like, because 4 of them, if you get something to pair the modifier, is like really good. Like 4 out of 6 is like pretty high up. So it really depends on like if you are getting that, and if you are playing Luke, then there's a pretty good chance that you'll be able to pair it, and that is a lot of damage. But it is only 4 dice, and I think a lot of the aggressive decks that want to go that way, they end up trying to get a 5th die in there, and this is not. But
Well,
so I don't know.
to be fair, Luke has an ability that can +1 value on a vehicle, and Dak does get you a shield. So there is like additional quote unquote die value there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fair. I haven't played with it, but it's like I'm not like day one like, ooh, I want to play this deck and I think it's gonna be busted, just because like all the Luke decks I played, it also just comes down to like DM being like a thing that like
Mm-hmm.
exists, and if I want to play a deck that's bad against DM, I think I'll play something else.
Yeah. So
Um,
just for reference, the first day I played Doc Luke, uh, I want to say 2 out of the first 3 games, I had the plot at 0 shields on round 3. I won once on round 3, but I also had struggles
nice.
where opponents just mitigated my vehicle and then I lost because I'd have like 1 or 2 vehicles, so because you needed the pilot die and the vehicle die, they could take either one and just ruin you. And like yellow's running headstrong right now. So they could pretty easily shut, like if they kill one of your pilots, they could shut the other one down via headstrong, and it's like impossible to win at that point off of the plot unless you have something that brings your die back. So it's definitely not very easy to do it. But I do like Dak a lot. There was a Dak Benthic deck, and like maybe it just might just be on the back of Benthic primarily because Benthic's ridiculous. But Dak paired with there to just punch in tons of damage. Um, you're getting the shields and harassing people, and Benthic kind of just mitigated dice, and then you got the shield off of this, and it was just kind of busted overall. They stay alive for a long, long time. But I like Dak overall, primarily because if you remember Jin, who had 2/2+2, she didn't have a resource side, and that's why we pretty much hated her because she just wasn't good from there. So Dak
Yeah.
Router is a much better version, and he has piloting, which gives you access to eject, which is scumbaggy, and flanked by wingman, which is another scumbag card. So you get some of the best zero drops available in the game. But yes, piloting vehicles is quite difficult. Um, if you go red yellow though, you do get Sabine's Tie Fighter, which pairs pretty well here with Dak, um, with all those mod sides. So I think overall, like you can hit real hard, real hard with like Luke and him and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's like I think it's fine. I think it's like a fine card, but it's not. It's not something that I'm super. I'm not like that excited about it. I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe I might.
he's not shit broken. That he's like solid.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid. He's just sort of. He's sort of a. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Poe, like 15 cost Poe,
Hmm.
and I think that this is probably just better than Poe. So it's like, uh, I think we've come a long way since Poe, like
Yeah,
15 cost Poe. So
I'd be more inclined to call him Iden. Like Iden had a two
yeah,
focus side, but she only had two twos on her for the damage, and she had
right.
like the bad discard. So it was like, But I'd say he's closer along those lines. Like he's like that character that most of the time in theory should be showing these damage sides. Um,
Right.
so like he does hit relatively hard. I think I'm fine with four of the sides. Once again, I just want to try to avoid that shield side. Obviously, no one wants the blank. But
Right.
it's gonna be like what setups you kind of do with this to figure out where you're going. Like 15 points is a lot, and that's the issue. It messes with your team comp lineups.
Right.
But all right,
Or
I'm gonna give you Rican. He's Rican on a
General
weekend.
Regan, Mastermind, 11 health. Die sides are 2 focus, 1 shield, 2 shields, resource, blank. He's a character leader with a subtype leader. His power action is draw cards equal to the number of character dice showing shields.
This
And
character's
he
character dice.
what?
This character's character dice.
Oh, draw cards equal to the number of this character's character dice showing shields. His 1 die 10 and 2 die 13. Elite 13. Yeah, I thought I read it as any character dice, and I was like, oh, that has some brokenness appeal to it. But yeah, just as a only his dice, like you draw an extra 2 cards max,
Hmm.
which is it's nice. It's good. I like drawing extra cards. Yeah, I mean it's like kind of like a good support character. Him having leader is like nice. Um, big the 2 shield side for a support character I think is like a kind of like a good place to be if you're going sort of like a bigger character. But 17s, generally haven't been like super powerful. Like Chewbacca, like if you would like then you only get red. 4 of the side, like in theory, if you do want a 2 shield side, then four of the sides here are pretty good, like 2 focus and 2 shields, resource. Obviously, the 1 shield isn't great, although it is good for his power action, which draw these 2 cards. It all really depends on what you're going to use for these 2 cards. There's 1 card. So I don't know. I'm not like super excited about him. He doesn't have a discard side, so it doesn't really work for like mill. So if you wanted to like it does save. It like keeps your guys alive, which is sort of like mitigates dice. So you could see it like that, perhaps. And then you can use his 2 focus to get to other discard sides that you might have on other characters. So I don't know. Rican was originally a mill card, and now there's no discard sides. And generally speaking, these kind of characters that are like supportish like this, 13 is I think too much. I think it's a bit too much. I think if this is 12, it would definitely be, you know, it would definitely. I think it would be. I think it would be playable. I don't think it's at 13. It's like you have Bale. Like Bale's 12, right?
Hmm. Bale's die sides are arguably worse though.
They are. They are. This is fair. So I don't know. I'm not excited about him, but he is interesting because 4 of his sides are good. It just really depends on how you want to like who you want to like how you want to like Joe was saying like what your team comps are like. I'm trying to think of them. I don't know what like mill stuff you want to do, or if you just want to go like kind of supports and then like sustain and sort of like 13 him and then like try to go rainbow in some other capacity. So maybe that's like a place you want to be, just tank up, get resources, go long, and pray.
Yeah, I don't think you can go rainbow because 13 is kind of like outside of that realm usually.
Right, yeah.
At 12 you could go 12 plus 10 with Satine plus a 8 for like the blue and be okay, but going forward I hear I think he's not worth that much. Um, I think 13 points for it's weird because I'm trying to figure out like 13 points for die side and the theory of draw one. The theory of draw one is that you're 11% to be able to draw 2 cards. You're 55% to be able to draw at least one. So you're 11% to draw 2, 44% to draw 1, and assuming your opponent doesn't mitigate you. And provided you're not keeping towards a blank, the resources and the focuses are the good sides, right? So you either get to draw cards or you hit the good sides, minus the blank. So I I want to say I'm totally cool with that. The draw one, I'm not sure how to value that. I also wish he was one less. 13, there's probably some way to do something here with like elite him, elite Satine. You could potentially do something funny with like a Jawa and Rescue Han. You could just run like a Bothan Spy. Try to get some weird value going. Um, can't think of any other 7 that's applicable there. So it really boils down to whether there was some deck that really just wanted like resource, 2 focus shields. Um, and like I can't really fathom one that makes realistic sense. Um, we don't have enough cheap guys to kind of go that route.
I mean, I think the
Yeah.
drawing is good for Rescue Han, but I think the fact that he doesn't actually make Rescue Han cheaper, like I think if this is like Leia, for example, then I think that's like pretty interesting.
Mm.
Like if it's just like Leia and then like it's like okay, now Rescue Han costs 2. That's kind of interesting. That would be more interesting.
Well, the thing with Rescue Han is that if you just care about him as a health stick as opposed to like being able to do damage, with the people who got a discount, he was only 1 anyways. So like with here, it'd only be 2. You could technically fit him as a 1-die Rescue Han with like a 15 yellow. That's why I was saying you go like Satine plus like a Jawa, or you go like Satine and a Hoth, but the Hoth isn't very good there. The Jawa's not very good either because you can't play that gray card into Rescue Han and like Jawa at the same time because the way the action works. So he doesn't lend himself well to that stuff. That's why I was just trying to think like what the different setups could be. That it's real rough. Like you don't
Yeah,
care
I'm
about
trying to
this
think of
guy
like a
enough to like really want to pay 10 for that.
right. Yeah, none of the die sides are like, oh my god, like let's make him work.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of like it's like a nice card. It's just it's I think that so I think obviously like if this was just like any character dice, then it's like you have potential for like kind of some stupid broken stuff to happen where you're just like, all right, I'll draw 4 cards. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah,
I don't know,
no.
maybe
If he was any character's dice, like your side, you could run him with the Vigilant Jedi and then the Elite Apprentice, and the
yeah.
Apprentice has 2 shield sides on him, and he'd be elite. So then you'd have access to 4+ dice with shield sides. The Vigilant might also have shield sides. So like then you'd be able to like go kind of crazy. Vigilant also has a shield side. So like imagine in that world where you hit like 3 or 4 cards and just go like ballistic. But you'd still be playing a bunch of bad sides. It's weird. I
Yeah.
don't know. I really like
Yeah.
his die sides. I just don't like the cost.
Right. I think that's the main thing. I like you look at it right, and you're like, oh, those 4 of those are pretty good hits, and then like one of them is like it's like bad, actively bad, but does make his power action good. So you draw 1, and sort of like your consolation prize.
If this was villain, I'd probably be fine with it. That's the sad part. It's
Well,
because
yeah,
villain has a better
yeah,
setup for supports than hero.
Right. And also, I feel like villains get more out of shields
Yeah.
because they don't have as many. So, like, when you get a two shield, if you get like a cheap character like this, there's all these other like discard cards. Like, I don't know what, I don't know if there's like a mill setup potential for this.
I don't think you want this guy anywhere near mill because like I think the shields aren't nearly as relevant as much as taking the hand. I think the
Yeah.
draw one's not like a major thing, but maybe there's something with like him and a lore and I don't know a Jawa or something. You still got
Yeah, I
like
was
one
thinking
point.
about lore. Lore's a 9/11, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still not pretty no matter what because like you're just so light on discard sides.
Yeah. This is true.
But if you go him, lore, Jawa, I don't think there's a plot you can run anymore. But the Jawa can hit Hive Mind or Wretched Mind, Wretched Hive, Wretched Hive. In Wretched Hive, Lore's also a scavenger, so they'd have to kill both of those characters for Wretched Hive to fall off. So there you go. Run them both. Go crazy.
There it is. And then you have 6 points left over for something.
No, the Jawa. That's what I said.
Oh, the Jawa.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you run Veteran of War for this
leave
guy.
1 point on the table, or is Wretched Hive cost 1?
Wretched Hive costs 1. So Jawa can Wretched Hive though for free, and then you're just harassing the opponent. But all right, let's go away from Riken.
Gotcha.
He's Riken on a weekend. None of your business. Rebel Sniper, 8 health. Cost is 8/11, so he can be elite. Die sides, 2 ranged. 2 for 1 ranged. Modified 2 ranged. Discard, single. Discard, single again. Blank. Yes, I said it, folks. No resource sides. Character, Trooper. And now you'd be like, what the hell is this? Power action. Discard a card from your hand to resolve one of this character's character dice, increasing its value by 1. You know who this die side reminds me of, Cuenca?
Jin?
Yeah! Because I hate it. That 2 for 1, if that 2 for 1 was just flat 2, it would be the Jin die. And it's so funny because we were just talking about Dak Ralter's die. And it's like,
Right.
You want to go first
That's
or
a lot
me
of money.
first?
You can go first.
Yeah. So it's weird because like you can't power action the +2 side. You obviously can't power action the blank. And you have a freaking 2 for 1. And like you might throw that at someone for 3, but you're not going to feel good about it. But from a mill perspective, anytime that dude shows discard, oh my god. Like an opponent like has to kind of mitigate it because they could just get dumped from their hand for 2. And getting like dunked on for 2 discards, real brutal. Real brutal. So like I don't know. I don't know what deck I'd be trying to run that's trying to split between damage and discard and is okay with this. There's some crackhead Rebel Assault stuff you could run in like a mill deck with this because he hits the range side and you just throw, you measure for measure his die away when it doesn't hit discard. So like there might be something here just because you can go 11 and have 2 single discard sides that could be treated as a 2 discard. From a damage perspective, I do not like this though because I don't like that 2 for 1. But even then, like that damage is kind of heavy. Like he hits kind of hard. Dak Ralter's, it's almost Dak Ralter fucking damage sides for 4 points less. All right, what you got?
So hand to resolve one of this character. Yeah, so this is like bad with this modifier, right? Because you can never
you can't PA the modifier.
Yeah, and so like if you like you're showing like 2 in a modifier, you're like, well, I could pump this 2.
Yep.
But then I leave this modifier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's horrible. Yeah, no, I think it's like kind of poorly designed in that respect. I think if this was like instead of the modifier, it was like another 2 for 1 pay, it would be better. Because then it's like okay, then now the whole thing is alive and it makes sense from a mechanic perspective, but
yeah. So now,
scratching.
I was talking about this with Ted, and I wanted him on for this because I thought this was going to be funny, but he wasn't available.
But yeah, Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I was say, like,
Okay.
well, hold on, do you think this guy's good or bad, or like okay or what?
It's interesting because he has. I don't know. I like your point about it sort of being kind of like a mill card, because it is sort of like two discard sides, and the whole measure for measure point is like very real, and it sort of feels bad if you like have this guy for 11 and then they're like, all right, this is like my mill card, and I just don't know what that lineup looks like, like when you have this guy and like 19 other points for like mill.
Uh,
So I don't know. It's there is like some weird, like you play two of these and then you have an eight yellow or something. I have no idea off the top of my head what it would be. Uh, like a chopper? No, a chopper doesn't. You need something with range to sort of help those mod sides out.
well, that's if you're going damage.
Right. I guess you could play two of these and just go discard,
Yeah.
and then just be like, all right, screw it. Or you could just be like, you know what? We'll see what I roll, and then we're gonna decide on our plan afterwards.
You're like, I gotta kill your guy. We're gonna go do that.
We're just gonna kill your guy.
You could also just go like Lore
Oh, we rolled
Santeca
8
and then just
damage here.
focus. You could run people with focus to just focus them.
Yeah.
Like Lore Santeca plus him, you have 8 points left. You could run like Satine or something. Like if the real hot stuff, right, is if you can go all ones, you can run Grease. So Lore Santeca, Rebel Sniper, and Grease. So now Rebel Sniper comes out, and
Nice.
then you're just harassing people, and then you Grease one and like flip to double discard sides. And they like probably can't get both of the dice. And then you jam them in their face.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. Because Grease also has a discard side. So, like, there's some hot world where you run Ewok ambushes and you Ewok ambush into the one. And you don't flip your other Ewok ambush and then, like, rip someone's hand. Hot fire.
Hot fire.
Prime fire. Yoga flame.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all very strange. As you know, these sort of like maybe mill decks have generally never been good. Like I can't the most the closest one that came to being playable was like Dooku Jabba in like the first set, and it still wasn't good. It was like one of those things where it wasn't necessarily that the mill was good. It was just you could sometimes just crime lord someone, and then that was good.
I
So
think the
you're like, all
chopper
right, we
version was fine. The chopper one that could go damage or mill was fine.
yeah, that's fair.
And it was only
But
because you'd
didn't
be
it,
like hitting for 3 discard, and people were like, "What's this?"
but is it just better just to play? Then it wasn't it just ended up being better to just play straight droids for damage?
No, because there were some matches where like the discard made sense. When you were playing against like Palpatine or stuff, it was usually better to actually just go mill because you could just start dumping his hand every round. Put like your action sheet into like mill somebody out was real funny. Well, like I don't know. So like there is that weird scenario where just like you can, like I think the Grease one play is kind of funny because then you don't actually care. Like he'll always be on discard. So like I think there is an actual mill deck there because I think the mill lineup could just run completely off of ones. Like Hired Muscles, Fickles, Lore Hunters. You can do Resistance Ring again with no answer now. So I think there's some play there that you could actually go and do that. The question ends up being is whether you're alive long enough to do that with a bunch of 8s and stuff.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate this guy. And hey, question: if one of those sides, you can pick any side besides the base 2, was a resource instead, is he like meh or is he broken?
I'm trying to think here. I think that it's funny. I like the idea of sort of having a card that like maybe could be a damage card or maybe could be a mill card. So I think that if it was like if the mod if either the I think like from the perspective of the way his power action works, I don't like that mod. So if that was a resource, but then the fact is that you get a free resource when you roll a resource, and that's just like that seems like too good for an 11-point character.
You mean 2 resources when you get it?
Right. Yeah, like if you roll a resource and you use his ability to get 2 resources, like obviously it costs you a card, right? But
It was broken. Yeah.
that's like it's like very consistent.
Well, it's just because like you could reap and then do the power action and like have 2 resources, and it'd be an 11 health 11 point character, or like as an 8 point character if you did that, someone would lose their mind. So it's funny
Yeah,
how
but that
like that 1 resource differential there, and that not being a resource is like the difference between being like busted and not.
well, I mean that would cost you 2 cards, right? To just get 2 resources. So that's about what that's worth, right? Like if you reap into it and then discard and then power action and discard and then you get 2. Sure, like you've lost 2 cards in your hand, and it gives you like it allows you to play very consistently, right? But
Yeah. Well, the
I
reap
don't
the
know if
reap
it's
did its thing
broken.
anyways, and was always its cost for the focus. So like yeah,
Sure.
you turned your 1 card into +1 resource, but I still think that's probably like insane.
I think it's very, especially like for an 11 cost card.
Yeah.
I think that's like very
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
you give me a 2 resource sign on an 11 cost card, I'm going to town.
Yeah, it's sort of like a C3PO that now has a 2 range side or something ridiculous. Like that's just like it's a bit silly.
Yeah, no, he's not 3PO. 3PO did it for free.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm saying like the fact that it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can do damage too. So
Yeah, I don't care about the damage. I cared about consistency and free. Free is great. Free is life. All right, let's get
but
out
I
of
will
Rebel
say,
Sniper. We already broke the hour. We still got like 6 cards left.
all right, let's go.
All right.
All right, Heroic Protector is an event. Has a picture of Chewie and Luke, I believe. Activate, cost 1. Activate one of your characters with Guardian. This turn, after that character's Guardian ability removes a die, deal damage to a character equal to the value of the die removed. So it is any character, so you can deal damage to a character equal to the value of the die removed. So you can deal it to your opponent's character. So that's a lot of damage if you remove like 3s and 4s for 1 resource. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'm in. I'm in for this card. It's very powerful. Yeah, I don't really, I don't really know what else to say. It seems good.
Yeah. If you do it on Chewbacca, you get 1 additional on top.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it ends up it's funny because like you're paying 1, and if you eat up a 2, then you're doing 2, and you're like, oh, that's like that was the old theory behind like your 1 resource card, right? And it's restrictive to a guardian, so it's a problem. But if you get 3, it's kind of busted. And like if you ever get to like lump a water a 4 with it, you like dealt 4 off the heroic, you dealt 2 off of the lump of water effect, you just 6 the guy. Like that guy's dead or crying.
Yeah, I will say I don't know if I like this card from a design perspective. Like it just seems like it's just like kind of like you really can't play around it. Like what? Like you're just not going to roll damage. And then there's like, oh, I had it. It's like very similar to the card that got nerfed. Uh, the one that like dealt X damage equal to the number of blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Not no mercy, but do you know what you like? You flip a die
yeah,
and then
unending hate.
unending hate. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's similar to unending hate. Like I don't like cards with no caps because of that. I think that this obviously I think this card is pushed I think it's even pushed if it has a cap of 3. But like you're gonna get situations where you like maybe eat like a 4 from like a Balatik or like a Vader or something. I don't know, some character,
Mm-hmm.
like a stupid who's the blue guy, the new
Anakin.
blue Qui-Gon. You eat his Qui-Gon, take 4, like like this is so stupid.
The Anakin one's real
Or
funny.
just but it's also like it's not even like restricted to character dice. So yeah, there's just so many there's so many dice that could potentially have 4s, and there's plenty of that have 3s. So
Yeah.
I don't know, this might be a problem card.
I could see where it is that way. It's hard too because your lineup has to have a guardian character, and the character has to be unactivated, so that there is some like there's some information there going on with that stuff, right? Like you kind of see it if you can play around it, you try to. If they get 2, like I think the card's still very good, and like 2 is pretty easy to get. Anytime you get 3, you profited. So I don't know.
Yeah, but like even Chewbacca at like 2, it's like, oh, he actually dealt 3.
Yeah, but Chewbacca was doing 1
So
anyways.
you're like, sure, but you know how that is. Like that one, like having that one action that deals 3 is like pretty huge.
Oh yeah, no, it is massive. But that's why it's funny with the Lumpawaru, because if the Lumpawaru stops like a 3 or a 2, he's also pinging for additional 1 on top. So like the Lumpawaru Chewbacca deck, if he eats a 3, he's dealing 3, 1, and 1. So he gets to do 5. If he eats a 4, he's doing 7.
Has anyone played like single die Anakin with like Chewbacca?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know that, like, I think the theory was just Anakin plus Leia.
Yeah, all right.
Leia has Guardian.
Mm.
All right, let's move on for Heroic Protector. We got K3PO. I wish this was C3PO so I could run with R2. 1 cost, unique, focus, shield, resource, blank, blank. Those are all 1s. Support droid. After an opponent claims the battlefield, you may play this card from your discard pile, period. You would have to pay for it, guys. Power action. Discard this card from play to use the claim ability or power action on the battlefield, even if it has been used this round. Point of reference, if you crack this and use a power action that your opponent controls the battlefield, it's used up for the round if they haven't done it already. But so there is some weird counterplay here when you like steal your opponent's Salt Flats ability before they got to use it, and then you locked it off. I think it's funny because like if your opponent claims, you can play this guy for 1, but I'm not sure how happy I am to see focus, shield resource. I'm not like, oh my god, yes. Like it's like whatever. I don't know. I don't know if there's a power action where I'm like, oh, I definitely want to like steal that. Maybe Mean Streets or something.
I mean, well, this card's just like great for mill, right? Like you just like play it in mill and you just mill for 2.
Yeah, it's good. It's good from that perspective, right? But like it still doesn't feel amazing overall. Like I guess if you crack it, if you crack it to get a resource, then you're like, oh, okay. If you crack it to get a resource, you're in a good spot.
Is there a Yeah. I mean, there's that. You crack it to get a resource. There are these cards that sort of that require you to have a lot of counters on them. I mean, I don't know if any of them are good with him, but like they definitely scale pretty high. They can and be potentially really, busted. So
the what?
What's the like the ones that like you put like a damage on it and then they like, you can either remove it or you put a resource on it and then remove a resource. That those sort of cards. Like there's a couple of those, right?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with this guy?
Because it's like discard this to because you can use the claim ability, and then use like basically I'm just trying to think of like claim abilities or power actions for battlefields that you would want to abuse.
Yeah, but like the only thing I could think of you were trying to say was maybe Weta Palace, and I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, Weta Palace. Well, I mean, I think the obvious one is you said it earlier, the scoundrel one, right? Like if you sack it to like play a 3-cost event, like that's pretty good.
Yeah. So Mean Streets or the battlefields where you get a resource when you claim them. Because then like you got whatever effect and then you got the resource back, and now if your opponent claims, you could recast them and get like the shield again. So like there's some weird play there where you like get a shield, you crack it, you got your money back. They claim, you get it back, you use it again. If you get like another shield, you've gotten the equivalent to like 2 shields for I guess you still paid 1 at that point, but like it's weird. It's almost free-ish. But if you hit the resource or focus, you're like, oh, yay. But like I don't know, it's real hard for that to like make me excited.
And you can also bring him back, right? There's the reconstruct the
droid stuff.
Yeah.
You bring back a droid and you attach the mods to him, so you playing with like 3PO. You're like, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to pay for the guy. So like, you could do silly stuff, where you like play that card, bring him out with the mods, activate, swing, use all the dice, crack him to kill him to do whatever the ability was, to then replay that event, to play him again with the mods on it, to reuse him again. So like there's some cracked silly shit you could do, yes. But I'm not gonna be happy about it no matter what.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like, so I think that the die side is sort of secondary to like whatever shenanigans you can do with the power action.
Yeah, but the thing is like that's why I want the die side to actually be useful, because if it's not, then like all he has is that ability going, and if you're playing on a battlefield that's irrelevant, like this guy's dead.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think your deck would have to be able to get the battlefield every time for this
Yeah,
guy to be good.
it's still hard though. Like there's just weird situations because there's a lot of times where like claiming isn't going on. So,
Right.
if you get the effect and then you claim because it's a power action that's not amazing, like, are you really happy about that? Like, this guy just doesn't feel great. But yes, if you were going to play Weta Palace, like, I think you have to play this guy. Because if they claim and put a resource on it, you need to be able to, like, crack those resources off the Weta. So, I don't know. I'm okay with it. Not happy.
Whatever.
Whatever's guy.
Whatever you want.
All right, we got Redemption, 4 cost,
Whatever.
unique, 2 ranged, 2 focus, 2 shield, 2 resource, blank, support vehicle. After you activate the support, roll 2 set aside medical droid dice into your pool. Set those dice aside after they are resolved or removed. So medical droid in general rotated out, but it is a 1 cost support with the die sides of shield, resource, special, blank, blank. The special is heal 1 damage for my character. It is also a support droid. So this is like the reverse Mega Blaster Trooper, and it doesn't need a leader. I got good things to say about this. Do you like it or no?
I do like it. I think that we actually talked about it previously in a long podcast, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And I will say that I've definitely come to like this the more I thought about it. And yeah, I don't know. It just gives you a lot of value for 1 card, which I do like value, and it's also like the Rescue Han 4-drop, which we sorely needed, and it kind of sort of goes with that sort of sustained strategy. So yeah,
it also 2 resource side, and it gums up the game because if you get the resources off that or the medical droids, it's ridiculous. If you just get like shields or healing, you're still in a really good spot because that's the equivalent to 4 health. So 4 health is like 2 resources, in 2 rounds it pays for itself. But if you hit the money, like in theory, you could pay for itself right away or be real close to paying for itself. So the fact that you can get so much time off of it is insane when you think about the fact that like character dice, if the 2 character dice hit 2 damage, which is what they're hoping for, like this 4 is just drowning that out round after round. So if you've effectively killed off a guy and you've decreased their damage output, this is going to just gum up the game real bad for them. Especially since it's not just shields. You have healing from the medical droid. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, this is cool. This is cool with Camino.
Very cool with Camino. I might have to try this in the Wookiee deck. Because the Wookiee deck gets the 6 and then you just want shields to like block stuff up so you don't die. And if you can get to this, like, I don't know if people can kill you anymore. You get to like heal back down to 6 and like out of range. I don't know. I'm gonna try to make the Wookiee deck like a pseudo ramp deck since the damage all starts in play. But definitely want this Rescue Han if you can.
Yeah, does die to DM, which sucks.
Shh. Everything died to DM. Go away. Hate DM. All right. Last thoughts. Trying to rush this up.
No.
All right.
I think we talked about it. It's a good card. We like it.
Rogue One, 3 cost, unique, 2 ranged, 3 ranged. 2 indirect, 1 shield, 1 resource, blank. After you activate the support, you may remove 1 shield from a card, or if Luke Skywalker or Dak Ralta are piloting this vehicle, you may remove a die showing a value of 0. Support vehicle. I played this in the Luke deck. I thought it was going to be much better than it was. It wasn't. The removing a shield is like a damage, though, which is like real nice. The 2 indirect is atrocious. The single shield is also really bad. I would have preferred to see like a little bit bigger there, 3 indirect, 2 shield, and then we'd be talking like real good potentially, because like not every deck has shields, so that activate ability might be useless, and then the the Luke or Dak removing a 0, so like a special, is actually quite strong. But I just don't like this in general for like the cost. It doesn't match up with a lot of the stuff I feel.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the die is just not good enough for a 3 cost that yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Hmm.
I think that some of them needed to be a little beefier, like a 2 shield side or a 3 indirect, you know. But even in that deck, like a 3 indirect doesn't do anything, so it's like kind of moot.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, and then that specific deck, but I just meant in general because like if I wanted to run this in some support based deck, like the damage is lacking from that point. I guess it's like if you can actively remove shields though, it's real strong because then each of your sides are a little bit more value, but costing 3 still is real hard. It's like hard to fathom that. I like 2 resource sides on my 3 drops when possible. Padmes and
yeah,
entourages, I want to get that. I want to keep going and playing more stuff, not like look at this crap and be like, I did 2 indirect guys. What do I do now?
yeah. I mean, like the best side being a 3 is on par with what that sort of cost has been in the past,
Hmm.
and I do like how you could remove it. Sorry, someone's banging on something in my house.
It's okay. I can't
Yeah,
even hear.
so yeah, I just don't think it's good enough. But
Yeah. But if you are in a shield format, then it does make it a bit better. You just, you can't be going into random format though, like running the shield format, then you're fine. It's
yeah,
not that bad. All right, you could take Rogue 2.
Rogue 2 cost 2. It is unique as well. It has 2 range, 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, blank. It is support vehicle. After you activate the support, spot a unique red character to re-roll a die. And unique red character. I think this card's fine. It is a 2. It does 2 damage sides. It has a resource side, and it gives you a little extra value. It is unique, which kind of sucks. So like playing 2 is kind of a little bit of a hardship if you wanted to go like spam. But the focus is fine enough. But yeah, I mean it's okay. It's not like I don't think it's anything exciting. It's just kind of like a role player for a sort of kind of deck that you want to build.
Yeah, pretty much. I like the reroll a fair bit. It's been useful for harassing people who hit like the best side on their die. You just want to get it off, like, right? Like if someone hits the Veteran of War special, you're like, oh, cool. I'm gonna go make you re-roll that and see if that falls off of that because like we can't play against that. Um, so I've liked it from that perspective. There's not a lot of decks where I'm excited to play this though. But it is a vehicle, so another 2-drop one. It's one of the best 2-drop vehicles that are available right now. Because it does have the 2/2s on it and has the resource, so you're content with 50% of the die. And I run it in Rescue Han because I don't really have much other choices that are viable, sadly.
Yeah, we were spoiled by Crate Speeder, so everything kind of gets compared to that when it's a 2 cost like red vehicle. It's
Yeah,
definitely worse.
I kind of remember like T-47 though, airspeeder, and this just beats that like by a pretty far
it's,
margin.
it's true. It's true. So it's somewhere in between those two.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
still rough though.
it is. It's the fact. Also, it is unique though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you might not even be able to play like 2 in your deck just because, it's obviously like you draw it and it draw 2 and it's horrible.
Yeah, you can't afford to draw the second one because then like you have certain amount of dice cards and you need to play like you need to be capable of playing all of them. You can't start an opening hand with
Right.
2 of these and be like, oh well, I guess I can only play 1 die this round and my whole deck's a ramp deck. So thanks guys, bye. I'm dead.
Yeah, and it's not like the card that like you're like slam it down. All right, now my win percentage goes up by like a lot. It's sort of like the card that I have a vehicle deck, and this is a serviceable vehicle that is in my vehicle deck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. But yeah, not there's not a ton there going on. It does its job. It's average. We're a little above average technically.
A little bit above average. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's fine. Hard to complain.
I'm not gonna complain. They
Next.
can't. They
Oh,
can't. They can't all be. They can't all be like
home runs.
busted. Yeah, they can't all be veteran of war.
Yes. Which was amazing. All right. Wasaka berry plant. 3 cost, unique, support. Action. If all characters on your team share a subtype, exhaust the support to heal 2 damage from a character. Do you remember Dex's Diner?
Yeah,
I hated Dex's Diner. You know why?
because you had to pay 1 every turn for it.
Because you had to pay 1 every time. For
And
a
your
field
guys need
medic
to
that
be
you
at,
paid
like,
1 for already. And it was only field medic if you had 6 or more damage.
right.
If
This
you
does
can
seem
get
better than that.
3 usages on this, you've paid for itself. 3. Not only do you have to have all the dudes be the same, you have to do it 3 times. So I actually like this more than Dex's Diner, because Dex's Diner would have cost you 2 the first round. It would have been 3 on the second round. So then after that, you would just be paying through the nose for no reason. But I hated Dex's Diner. So any of you people that love Dex's Diner,
They're gonna love this card.
you might love this card. But I'll
Although
tell
they
you
might
again,
not.
I hate
They
you.
might not. They might not. Sorry, you hate them.
I hate you.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's like a weird card. And this picture is really weird. I was laughing at this picture. I was just like, what the hell is this? Like berries?
So think of a crackhead strawberry or blueberry or something.
I know, but it's like, I don't know. It's I don't know what. Someone can please comment and tell me what this is, because obviously it's a Wasaka berry plant. But is this like a giant plant? Like, is this, or are these like tiny little berries? I'm imagining someone's like walking on the stalk, and it's so big, or are these like tiny little berries and it's like we're zoomed in on it? Like I don't know. I don't know what the perspective is on this.
You went
Like,
far
I
too
can
deep,
imagine.
friend. I'm
Well,
more
it costs 3 though.
Dude, I'm more confused that if you look in the background, right? There are little Wasaka berries, but they're not plentiful. There's a bunch of green around. And then little dinky red things. So, like, what is up with that? This one has 2 Wasaka berries next to each other. Was the artist just that lazy? They're like, here's a Wasaka berry, and here's another Wasaka berry a mile down the road. And here's a couple more Wasaka berries. Like, where are the rest of the Wasaka berries? There's like 4. There's 4 little dingles of red in there. They're just like, oh, these are Wasaka berries. Like, you're lazy. You're basic. You're basic. And I hate you.
And you hate. And I hate you.
And I hate you. I hate you.
Paying 3 for this is a lot. I don't really foresee myself wanting to pay 3 to play the Wasaka berry deck. Just, I'm not really into the Wasaka berry strategy. I think maybe in like a mill deck this would be like, okay, maybe. I don't know, but you want to go fast. A lot of times you want to go fast in those decks. So it's just like, yeah, that's right. There is a psychopath out there. It's like, yes, I'm gonna heal forever and make my opponents like hate playing this game.
Dude, someone played this round 1 in the stupid Akbar deck, and I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the quintessential like psychopath strategy. You know, it's like, I want to heal, and then maybe that's the thing, is that that quickly will tell you whether or not Wasaka berry is good. If you play it on round 1 in the Akbar deck, how badly did you win? Was it close? Were you just like, oh, I really wanted something that actually like did something for my game plan besides just stall? I mean, that you kind of do want to do that with Akbar. You do want to stall, so it does have that sort of role in there. But would you rather just?
I'd rather Padme shit. I get a shield and I have a die.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to talk to me about it. I'm in for Padme ship over Wasaka berry.
Wasaka berry.
Although they are unique, so maybe you play 1-1, a 1-1
Dude, I don't know. I don't know, man. Your whole team got to be the same. It's weird because, like, right, if this cost 2, it might have been broken.
Right.
So, but then like 3 is like, cause like, So I guess I would have been like, no, because you can't even be if you have one character left. If this is the third round, if this is the third round or later in the game, this costs 2, something like that, right? I'd be okay with that.
Is there some way to like that this particular support gets cheaper? Like, is there a search for Wasaka berry plant card that
Nah,
puts it
I
in
don't.
play for free?
You
Because
can tech
then
team
that
it.
makes it
You
kind
can tech team it.
of. I know. I'm just trying to think of like a way, like a reason why like this would be good as opposed to like playing like a vehicle.
No, you just heals, man. Someone wanted heals. I don't know. Don't ask me these questions. I don't understand.
It is fast at what it does, right? So you're not like you're activating it. You get it right away. So there is that savings.
Yeah. You also get DM for 3.
If you do get DM
Oh,
for 3.
but I don't know, man. I just did. All right. I can't talk about Wasaka Berry anymore because, like, I really hated Dex's Diner. But at least Dex's Diner only costs 1 to start. But like, yeah, Wasaka Berry, man. What's the deal?
Do you hate Wasaka berry plant more or less than Dex's Diner?
Less than Dex's Diner.
Ooh, all right.
The only reason is this: Wasaka Berry could be profitable at round 4, the 4th round that it's been in play. The Dex's Diner can never be profitable. It's never profitable. It never paid for itself. Never.
It's also like that you could easily play around Dex's Diner a little bit by like just like rolling out the damage and be like, all right, I'll kill your guy before you can get a chance to use it.
Yeah, because they're at 5 or whatever, so that you don't let them get the 2 heal. Which is definitely
So
something
yes, I do agree. I mean, I think that this is like a one of in certain decks. Like I would play one of this in Akbar and just see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the card I play in the round 1 though, but you know.
I don't know. It is one of those cards though. If your deck can hit 5 rounds or something, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know what mill deck could do this, but if some deck could like generate through money and do things properly, I could get down with this card like coming down round 2. Or if you only needed your character dice, right? Like, I don't know, you're playing Wookiees or something, and you can just smash in with your character dice. So, like, just barely keeping your guy alive is worth it to you, then I'd be like, all right, I can get down with someone with Wasaka Berry. But, like, I still hate the concept. I'd rather Padme ship. All right. Let's go to the last one. You get all the Wookiee cards. It's all you, baby. Go ahead.
All right. Wookiee Fluffercraft.
Fluttercraft.
I know.
Fluffer Nuttercraft.
Wookiee Fluffer Nuttercraft. No, it's actually Wookiee Fluttercraft. Cost 2. It is a support vehicle. Its dice sides are 2 range, modified 2 range, 2 indirect, 1 focus, 1 resource, blank. Its card text is, after you activate the support, if there is no damage on it, you may move 1 damage from a character with Guardian to this card. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it gives you a little bit of value. It's kind of like veteran. It's like a worse. It's like a much worse veteran of war. I don't even. I can't even compare them. Yeah. I mean, its dice sides are like fine. You do heal 1. If there's some kind of like way to abuse it, so it like does it every turn.
There is.
Then you're talking. There is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if that is the case, then this card definitely gets better. So if you can do that, I don't. Is this with Chewbacca? You can move damage among your character. Okay, so you can't move with Chewbacca because that would be kind of cool. But
no, you ready for the card that does it?
What is it?
Bucket.
Oh, well, that's horrible.
Why?
Because you're playing Bucket in your deck.
Hey, Bucket is focus, shield, special. It can put a resource on Merchant Freighter. It can take a damage off the Fluttercraft.
Yes.
It is the premium card.
Well, it's also like the die isn't that great. Like it's like fine. You have the 2 base. Like it's the die is about is average, I think, for the cost. Because they're all like in theory like serviceable sides. And you do have this upside. So maybe if you get the bucket and you get the Wookiee Fluffercraft going, I mean that is obviously very annoying. So
Yeah.
your opponent will be very very annoyed by that.
Yeah. Real mad.
So maybe, yeah. I mean, if the problem is that bucket is unique, right? So it's just like, do you want to play 2 buckets in your deck and like hope you draw the Wookiee Fluffercraft? Like,
Well, at least Wookiee Fluffercraft is not unique, so you can actually put both
that
in
is,
play.
you can build your Wookiee Fluffercraft and yeah,
You can
do
heal
that.
half of the damage of
Is there a way
a
that we can?
Wasaka berry.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I definitely like this card way more than the Wasaka berries. Uh,
You can play Fluttercraft and a bucket and get half of the effect of a Wasaka berry and still have a die and a resource.
yeah, you get 3. You're down a card, but you do get 2 dice. So I think it's a little bit better. Yeah, I guess I'd rather play Wookiee Fluffercraft and Bucket over Wasaka Berry Plant. Man, this is a mouthful of like pronunciations of words.
Wasaka and Fluttercraft? Nah,
Yeah, Wasaka Berry Plant and Wookiee Fluttercraft.
they're fine. You're all jacked up because you wanted to call it Fluffernutter. So then, like, once you went there, it was a mess.
I didn't say Fluffernerd. I said Fluffercraft.
I know, and I went Fluffernuttercraft.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's fine. It's okay.
What do you think of this card?
I like it a lot. When you compare it to Rogue One, right? So like Rogue One got the reroll, and the reroll is probably worth more, to be honest, than the 1 damage heal. But
Interesting.
the base 2, the focus, and the resource stayed the same. It was another 2 and I think a shield switched out for the mod 2 and the 2 indirect. So like those differential and sides are about equivalent. Like if you're focusing to something on you have the base 2 anyway, so it's irrelevant. The mod side, like hitting the mod side, is technically worse when you don't have bases, but if you have the base side, it's viable. The problem ends up being is that you actually just need the Guardian effect, and there are not a lot of Guardians that are range based right now. Like Naboo Guard is the only one I can realistically think of. But there is some crazy crackhead decks you could run this with. So like, if you go Elite Leia, 1 Dagrees, Hoth Trooper, Elite Rescue Han, you could then run buckets and Wookiee Fluttercrafts and like keep your Leia alive and ruin people's lives.
Nice.
Yes. Yes, I know that entire deck is deep, real deep, but
It's deep.
It's
You heard
fun.
it here first.
super deep, super deep, super deep. Oh,
I wish Akbar had.
Guardian.
I wish he had Guardian. Yeah,
Yeah,
and this card would be pretty insane. Pretty insane in that deck, I think.
yeah. Like I don't know. I can't remember any other Guardians that have like range sides or like any at all. But I guess
Well, Chewie
Chewie
does
does have
have
one.
one range side.
he does have one.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. So if you go Chewbacca Han, then Han likes the Fluttercraft because then he could pilot it, and he has range sides, and the Chewbacca's like getting healed off of one, and it's a whole interesting concept. You can't like easily bucket, but you could still run bucket there and not bat an eye, because you are running freighters anyways, and the bucket makes it funny.
It's true.
Like it's just the thing about bucket is it's just if it gets the extra value, you're like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Why does Chewie not have piloting? He's a pilot. That's racist.
I don't know about that. Was he ever allowed to drive the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, he was the co-pilot.
Co-pilot's not driving nothing. Get out of here. Co-pilot's just looking cool and clicking buttons.
And yeah, and no, he was later on. He was piloting with Rey, and he definitely, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he ever piloted it by himself. That would actually be something that a listener could tell us whether or not Chewie, because he definitely piloted it with Lando at one point, and he piloted it with Rey, and he obviously piloted it with Han. But I don't know if he ever piloted it by itself. But
Yeah, let
it
us
should
know.
have a word of text. It should have a word of text where it says, "If you control another pilot, this says pilot."
Let us know. Did Chewbacca, was Chewbacca ever allowed to drive? Does he have his pilot's license? On the
Well,
next
I think
episode
Han probably took.
of
I
the
think
As the
Han took
Hyperloops
naps,
returns. I don't
right?
know. Wookiee fluffer nutter crafter thingamabob. Heal my guyer.
It's hard to have these conversations with you because you have no idea. You have no knowledge of Star Wars.
I have knowledge of Star Wars. I just haven't watched the movies. That's why it's funny. Chewbacca's not allowed to drive. Check. Too tall. Head hits the ceiling.
Too tall.
Too tall. Too tall. All right. And that concludes the Red Hero section.
Yeah. Veteran of War is technically the last one, but we've already talked about it. So
Yeah. But it's
I
that
don't know if
good.
there's anything more you want to say about Veteran of War.
It's broken.
No.
It's broken. I love it. It's broken.
Would you say Veteran of War is the best card of Red Hero?
100%. Hands down.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
I'd agree, yeah.
Best card. I'm trying to figure out how to run that in every deck.
I was hoping for a hot take, but that's not very. That's a lukewarm take. No, that's a cold take.
I don't know how anyone says anything besides it's ridiculous. Like, just absolutely ridiculous. It's that darn good. Yeah, I don't know. Gotta figure stuff out and kind of go from there. But yeah, any parting thoughts? You got any stories you want to tell? Because I gotta go work tomorrow.
I gotta work too, but I start at noon. One of the reasons why I was actually looking for new work is that my schedule is like noon to 9 certain days, and I don't like that. Noon to 9's no bueno.
Noon to 9's really rough because a lot of stuff's
like
not open super early, and you get home so late you can't go to do anything.
Right. Well, that's the thing is that like I don't care right now because we're like in coronavirus world.
Mm-hmm.
But like if things go back to normal, you know, and I'm still working that schedule, I'm gonna be real mad. But right now it's like I don't care. Like I just come home, see my wife. I only really see my wife anyways, so it's fine.
Come home and you see Nicolas Cage.
Yep, there he is.
Looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
Looking at me. Oh, I did want to say something. Shout out someone who gave us a tip last week. And I won't mention them by name because I don't know if they want us to mention my name, and I think it's be rude to do it. But this person was whenever we talk about like chest hair shaming.
No. There should be none of that. Then you're saying stuff. Just in general, it's thank you. We appreciate the donation.
No. I think that it's fine. I think that it's totally fine, and I think that we don't know who this person is. So I'm just saying that I want to thank them because they were nice enough to give us a donation. And a long time ago in a galaxy far away, they had a problem with my chest hair, and then they apologized and they sent us a tip, and I really want to thank them for that.
Okay. I thought you were going deeper than that, so then I was like, no.
No. There's nothing more than that. I just, sincerely, it's very nice to sort of like get the tip, and it's also really nice to just sort of see a human being sort of admit that they did something in poor taste. It gives me a little bit of hope for humanity. So,
well,
you get a thumbs up.
Well, I can appreciate people, changing and learning. I still don't have hope for humanity in general. It's a long road ahead, guys. Sorry, it's a long road ahead. If COVID taught me one thing, humanity's doomed. Just straight doomed.
Doomed. Well, I mean, in a long enough time scale, yeah, I think the bet on doom is probably pretty good. But
yeah,
I think that our generations will survive.
Survive what?
I'm putting that bet there.
We can't. Look, man, old age is undefeated, so it doesn't matter.
Well, this is true.
Undefeated, Father Time.
Time makes fool of us all.
Where's
And
that
you'll
from?
be next. What?
So where's that from? You pull off the old guy very good there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's it for this episode. We did an hour and almost
You'll
40
be
minutes.
next.
For those of you that have been making it through, we appreciate it. Thanks for the comments. We love you all. Unless you would like Dex's Diner, because then I hate you still. That hate trumps love. But thanks again from the Hyperloops, and you guys have a good one. Deuces.